in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the...
We went back into the music. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Netflix for that theme song. Shout out to Indigo Saint. I'll just give all the shout outs to Underdog, to Black Rule, Red Dad, Blue Dad, the entire CIC. I really want to thank my students as well, and everyone who's tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. And those of you who are watching on YouTube and listening to the audio on the podcast, kudos to you. I'd like to flip-flop it. So for those of you who are listening on the podcast, the Professor Podcast, please go to YouTube, type in Mfon Akpan, go to YouTube, click subscribe so you don't miss out on any extra content that's posted on my YouTube channel that may not make it to the audio podcast. And then shout out to everyone on YouTube. You get a chance to move over and go to the podcast, the Professor Podcast. It is on every podcast platform you can think of. And I think that's good, because the more you subscribe, the more comments, the more messages we get, the more people we can reach, the more feedback we get, the more information is shared. The reason we have a podcast is really to share information, share ideas, and to make those connections. And more so for me to connect outside of the classroom. So some of those conversations that we have in the classroom and in these spaces, this is a great way to connect outside and to get those ideas and to share information. Also, shout out to Jens Heitland. I was on his podcast last week. Actually, there's a webinar that wound up being on the podcast as well, where I talked about the 10-10 rule does no longer exist. Make sure if you go to his podcast webpage, Jens Heitland Innovation, you get to check that out. It's very, very informative and interesting. It's also here it's posted to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. Now, today, I really had something that is really interesting. And this is something that I actually talked about in a course that is being developed. I'm shouting out a lot of people. Shout out to Winston Bromley in Bostiki.com, who is developing my Metaverse course. So I'm excited about that. And this is something that I talk about in the course, and I thought I would share with everyone here. So when we talk about the Metaverse and particularly Meta, so we talk about the Metaverse, And I love the title. The metaverse is going to be saved by IP. IP meaning intellectual property. So you have to think about when you talk about Meta, which was in the news for laying off 11,000 employees. I am really, my heart goes out to those employees and their families and friends and everyone who's impacted by that. And I want to say something about that. So we know that Meta is doing the cost cutting and it's laying off people. Part of that, it's also getting rid of products. So it's getting rid of the portal. So it's discontinuing its portal, which it initially started the portal as a consumer product, a screen where you can connect and talk to people through Messenger, through Facebook Messenger. Now, and then they decided to market it toward businesses as an enterprise product. And then now they pulled the plug on that. Well, one thing to think about is when we talk about this spending and we talk about the money and we talk about all of this billions of dollars that Meta is spending on its reality labs and developing its metaverse, there's IP. A lot of what's going into this is intellectual property, intangible patents. So there's patentable items. There's other technologies that are more than likely not patented, but are invented and are there and are in-house, top secret in another way. But the key thing to think about is that this money is going to develop this technology. So when you think about the portal, even though they're discontinuing the sale of the portal, the technology and that IP that went in to develop it is still there. They still have it. They still own it. They still created it. So that's something to realize, that this money is not just being burned away and going up in smoke. This money is being used to develop these new products and services in the metaverse. Now, when you think about that from the business perspective, some of these items will have value today, meaning they can be exploited today and put on the market today. Some of them, you may have to wait. It may take time for them to come to market and to be exploited and money to be made. Some may never see the light of day. However, they still may be around and they have value. So keep in mind, this money is going to technology development, which has value. So there's something that's being invested in. The problem is we cannot see it. And the other thing is that many times we talk about IP, so patented technology. There's also unpatented technology, top secret technology. There's also processes that are developed we don't know about and we won't see. So I talk about this in my classes. There's something behind the curtain. So realize this money is being spent. Now, don't get me wrong. Investors need a return, right? The shareholders need a return on investment. That is very important, and we must keep that in mind, and we must keep that in focus. So when I talk about the metaverse is going to be saved by IP, what I strongly believe is that a lot of this technology, even if Meta is not able to bring their vision to life of the metaverse, the technology, the foundation has been set and laid. And someone will pick up that ball. Someone will be able to transform this technology. Someone will be able to create it and utilize it. So I believe that that will happen, and that will be what we see in the future. So I'd love to hear what you think about this, as far as the metaverse is going to be saved by IP, by the intellectual property, by that intangible that we cannot see. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you for tuning in.
years I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la.